You are in the Where's Huddle with me, Bram, and with me per usual, my master of all things video and sound, Maxime.
How's it going?
Maxime, I am excited to announce that joining us just at the exact right time, Yahoo Sports college and NBA guru, the best draft insider, has spent season after season developing more background, relationships, and experience than anyone anywhere within the sports media landscape. A basketball head with superior knowledge to every random guy who has tried to mansplain the game to her in a bar. And my favorite guest on this show, Miss Krysten Peek. What's going on, KP?
I'm so glad we're doing this today and not on, what was it, like the Friday after the draft when you guys asked me to do this. And I was like, I haven't slept in a week.
It feels like I'm talking to a real celebrity now, because even though I haven't recorded with you for a few weeks, I've been seeing your face everywhere. I saw it all over social media during the draft. I heard your voice during a bunch of interviews. So, it's kind of awesome to see you on here.
Can I tell you, so 40 minutes before the draft, and my producer is asking me to jump on set and do a camera test to make sure like the audio is working, whatever. I look down at my phone and Mark Cuban's calling me. And I was like, I gotta take this. He's like, no, we gotta do this test. I was like, it's Mark Cuban. I gotta take this. And so I answer. He's like, Krysten, Mark Cuban, and I'm like, hey, Mark. And he wanted to obviously ask me about some players, and then my producer's like, was that really Mark Cuban? I was like, yeah, it's a big night for, if you have a lottery pick, it's a big night. So, I would love to join you guys. You guys, Mark Cuban, it's the same.
It's right there. Maxime, did we get some calls from Cubes on draft? No, he didn't hit me, but maybe he hit you as the producer.
Yeah, he might have. There were a lot of calls coming in. You know how it is.
It's a busy day. It's a busy day. So who knows?
Busy day.
Let's jump in. What stuck out from that draft?
Honestly, it's like graduation for me. And I mean that. Like Jet Howard came back and he almost like cried in my arms. Jet went 11 to the Orlando Magic. And he turned to our producer and he's just like, you don't understand KP. She's like an auntie to me. She interviewed me when I was 14 years old, and she's been there to give encouraging words when I didn't make the McDonald's game. I feel confident saying this. There is nobody at the draft that has been in the gym with these players as much as I have leading up to it. So to me, it's a graduation. I am a proud auntie, bonus aunt, whatever.
Follow-ups on Victor. So I know you've got relationships with all these guys, and because of that, you're used to knowing people who are in the spotlight. But Victor's spotlight is red hot. His Q score must be through the roof.
I was in the lobby with a couple other lottery picks sitting there, and Victor walked by, and it was their first time seeing him. And one of them goes, "Whoa, he's big as F." And he's just like, I wasn't expecting him to be that tall. And then the other one goes, he's like, what did you think 7'4" looked like, man?
Who is the best player in this draft class not named Victor?
It's got to be Scoot Henderson, hands down. What he projects at the next level, a cross between Russell Westbrook and a healthy Derrick Rose, Allen Iverson. Like, he's going to be that next great point guard that hits the league. So it has to be Scoot. And I don't know if you guys saw the reaction from inside where the Charlotte Hornets play and their mascot when they announced that they were taking Brandin over Scoot.
Oh my God, dude. If I was involved in the front office in any way, I'm firing Hugo as quickly as I possibly can. We're having that full in. It's like, do you understand that you are supposed to fire, like, whatever happens, dude, you need to make sure the audience is excited for this. You can't be doing that bullshit. Oh, Hugo, that is terrible work by you. So way, way, way back, when the Warriors still had one, Thunder, we had him on this show, Sadiki Fuller, rest in peace. He told us at the end of each year, the mascots had a party in Vegas in a suite where a lot of them wore the costumes, Krysten. So who knows what happened in that suite, what kind of crazy shit went down. But I've always just the concept of a no holds barred mascot party in a Vegas suite has always stuck out to me. So, I'm sure Hugo is going to go and recount all of his various draft thoughts in Vegas towards the end of the year.
I asked Scoot, I said, listen, in any other draft, you would be the number one pick. And now you fall into 3. I know how competitive you are. You going in with a chip on your shoulder, for those rookie awards. And he said, it's even playing field now that we've all been drafted. We're all the same once we enter the lines on the court. And he's like, I'm about to show everyone what I'm about. And I'm like, ooh, okay. And he's saying this with his ridiculous suit and his grill in his mouth. I'm like, how do you talk? Like, how are you talking?
I almost did today's podcast with a similar grill, but I can't. I can't talk very well, which is why I took it out. It would have been good for the video. Let's go to our next question. Give us a breakdown on Golden State's 2 picks, right? So 19 pick, Brandin with an I know Pods. I have no idea how to say this last name. Podziemski. I knew that. I was testing you. Elevator pitch. Why do you believe he has the skill set to succeed in the NBA, and how can he help the Warriors?
I watched him all season at Santa Clara, and you always have to go into the draft with the mindset of like, this isn't a Power 5 conference. They're not playing against tougher competition. But then in the back of your mind, you're like, okay, but we saw how good Jalen Williams, who went number 12 to OKC the year before, and he was like a lockdown defender in the NBA. So now you look at these mid-major darlings, him and Taylor Hendricks, who went number 9 to the Jazz, and you're like, okay, there is room for them in the NBA. They compete at a high level. Like the spacing is right up their alley. And for Pods, it's like he committed first to Illinois, and I think he averaged like under 2 points per game his freshman year, decided to enter the transfer portal. He and Jalen Williams have a really strong relationship. Jalen encouraged him to come to Santa Clara. And then when he showed up, I mean, this dude was a stone cold killer on the court in terms of like shooting close to 60% from the field, 44% from 3, and 52% from 2-point range. So like you always go into that and you're like, okay, is it because of weaker competition? And then we saw what he did at the NBA draft combine and how effective he was and how tough he was.
Grade the pick, A through F. What do you give this one?
A-, because we know what he is. He can come in right away and contribute offensively. And he's also a solid defender on the wing and off the switch. So he's just a hard worker. He's going to be a great locker room guy. He's going to accept his role and be patient.
Any idea why there's an I in Brandon? I can't get over that, dude. I've been really distracted.
Why do I have a Y in my name? I've got a random Y in my name.
That's why I'm asking you. You feel uniquely qualified to answer this question. Any idea why there's
No, but there's this kid, Darren Peterson, a top junior in the country. And so when I sat down with Darren, he spells his name Darryn. And I was like, oh, Darren, you're in this exclusive club. You have a random Y in your name too. And I said, the first person that I ever sat down with that had a random Y in their name, he was your age, and it was Jason Tatum. And Darren goes, damn, you've been doing this for that long? And I'm like, I was trying to get some street cred saying like me and Jason are in this like exclusive club. Welcome to our club. And he's just like, oh, you're old.
1 to 10, how confident are you that Pods will be a rotational player, will earn a spot in the league?
10. He's like the Christian Brown of this draft class.
Phenomenal. I'm glad I asked that. All right, pick 57, Trayce Jackson-Davis. Tell me about this guy. Same thing, elevator pitch.
Let me say this. I love him. I love that he went back 2 times after getting feedback from the NBA and saying, you need more time to develop. And so he went back and he took that feedback. But I think why he was so salty after he fell so far was there were rumors that when Denver traded into the first round and even had that 37th pick, that they were targeting Trayce. And so he and his agent probably saw all of NBA Twitter, like, you're definitely not dropping past 37. And so when he did, he was probably like, what the, you know, for Trayce, I mean, he's going to be a great role player. And I say that encouragingly in the sense where he's great. Like we saw him and Jalen Hood-Schifino at Indiana execute the PNR very, very well. Defensively, I mean, he's not super tall and athletic, but he plays the 4. He can extend the game. You can see him right here off the, like his step off the wing. There he is in the back door. I mean, so he's got athleticism, but he's not, I don't know how effective he's going to be against NBA bigs because he's not that 6'10", 6'11". You know, he's more of that 6'8", 6'9" power forward.
1 to 10, same question for TJD.
I'm 50-50 on him just because of his size. And I feel like with the NBA spacing, he's going to need a little bit more time to adjust to the pace and the physicality and just the more open space and open floor than what he's been at Indiana for the last 4 years.
Dude, a 50% shot at a second rounder becoming a real rotational player, I'll take it.
Oh, it was definitely a steal for sure as far as he fell.
Yep. I'm going to go some quick hits with you. All right.
Okay.
So first thought that comes to mind. 1, steal of the draft.
Trayce Jackson-Davis.
Let's go. How many all-star games for Victor?
As many as he decides to play in the NBA.
I mean, like
we're talking like LeBron numbers.
Levels. Okay. Where would Chet Holmgren have gone in this draft?
6.
Maybe the most important question I'm going to ask you. What the went on with Grady Dick's suit?
It's the best. Okay.
Holy shit.
Okay. Did you guys hear? So Dolce & Gabbana made this and they're like an actual designer, right? Which is even more funny. And look, he's got his Louis Vuittons on, the red bottoms, but I sent a picture.
Is this a joke? Is he trolling us? Is this his sense of style? What's happening?
He is so goofy, but his explanation for this is like, well, you know, I'm from Kansas and Dorothy's from Kansas and she had the red shoes. So this is my red suit. That's what he said. If you know Grady, like this is right up his alley. Like I would expect nothing less. And the fact that he originally wanted red sequin pants to match his top and they weren't made in time is so hilarious. And I know it looks like he's wearing a turtleneck. It's not even a turtleneck. I asked him, I was like, what does the inside of your suit look? And he opened up his suit. It's a tank top. So it was a tank top
with a turtleneck. It's still a turtleneck. It just doesn't have sleeves.
Yes. And then he had his GD chain that was blinged out.
You just found the only way to make me more annoyed with that suit by telling me that it was a tank top with a turtleneck. My 2 least favorite shirts in one setting. That I don't even. Why the hell would they even make that?
I asked him, "What did Adam Silver say to you about your suit?" And he's like, I can't remember if he actually said anything, but I could see him squinting a little because the lights were hitting off my sequence and it was hurting his eyes.
I can actually help here. I spoke with Adam and what he told me, what he said was, is that a fucking tank top? He's like, I mean, get some sleeves, dude. That is a completely unacceptable scenario. So there you go. A little bit of a little nugget of knowledge there for you.
Perfect. BFF, Adam Silver. Love it.
All right, Krysten, I am positive that people just like me love your content, need way more of you in their life. How do they do it?
You can follow me on Twitter at Krysten Peek with a Y, like we talked about, or read all my stuff.
Just like Jason Tatum.
Yeah, just Jason with a Y, Krysten with a Y. Or read all my stuff. I'm going to Peach Jam next week in Summer League. So it'll be Wembanyama in Vegas for a couple games on Yahoo Sports.
With that in mind, go Warriors. Hopefully, we'll see you real soon.